like the
I hate that
paneling
you
and
just
everything.
equated weird with Swedish, but go ahead.
No, but like weird as in foreign to us as American television watchers. You know what I mean? I'm speaking of myself. I apologize. I do not want to call the Swedish weird. I love Legos. I love Swedish meatballs. I love IKEA.
Yeah, we're just gonna start this shit live.
The only time I caught the Holy Ghost was when I was in church drinking.
Like they're two dumb dudes. Welcome to the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast.
I mean, if I could rewind time, he got a movie on Netflix, Rebel Ridge.
Oh yeah,
Nah,
Aaron,
bro. You can't. Again, he's in everything, bro. He's gonna be John Stewart. Like
no,
you can't.
I mean, not now, but if him now, replace him as War Machine, I think that would have been a good fit. Somebody like him. He had the build, he had the style, he was real cool. But
you forgot one small thing, Chris, is that this is 16 years ago. He would have probably been like 9 years old.
That's what I'm saying. A person like him. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. A person like him, though, at that time.
The closest person that I feel that would have been like him, it would have been the dude from the Jamie Foxx show. What's it called? Light Skin Cat?
The stupid one?
Braxton?
Yeah, Braxton.
No,
Braxton, he'll forever...
I actually think fucking who's it? The dude that played Candyman. I actually think he would have made a good War Machine because he's got that look. He's got that look to him that's like he's got that stoic military look to him.
Well, to me, Don Cheadle always can play anything. After he did the Captain Planet,
Don Cheadle played a black Asian dude in Rush Hour 2.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, from Meteor Man all the way to Captain Planet in that skit that he did on Will Ferrell's platform, he can play whoever he wants. Like, you never seen that he was Captain Planet?
No, I seen that.
I did see that. Yeah.
That
I'm not against Don Cheadle. I just feel like it should have been somebody different.
It sounds like you are. It sounds like two dark-skinned brothers can't live in the same space.
No, because look at this. Do you think there could have been a different Thor? Besides Chris Hemsworth?
No.
No, because he just fit that role. Like he had the body for it. He had the voice. Like that fit him perfectly. I don't think Don Cheadle had that.
He worked himself into the body.
I mean, but still,
like he's still a big dude. Like
yeah,
you know.
Is that somebody you bumped into, Mikaze Helmsworth? I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
He's going, just because he might have played Hulk Hogan. I don't know.
Or he might have been backstage. I don't know. You guys, somebody met Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day when like the weirdest crossover ever.
I know. I met like Oscar De La Hoya. I met the dude that wrote what was it?
Was he wearing his lingerie when you met him?
We're not gonna disrespect Oscar De La Hoya like that, okay?
I mean, that man got hands, but he a freak in the sheets, baby.
Well. Speaking of freak in the sheets, welcome to the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast. It's your boy Sarat, aka Mikaze.
Your boy Chris Brown, aka Red Ford Delta.
It's your boy Marcos, aka at the Sunset Kid, the kid representing the Glizzy gang today.
Yeah. I noticed that earlier. I was like, this guy, he's either getting a job, or he doesn't got a job, or he wants to do a job. That's all I'm saying.
No, this is from a bar in New York that it was the greatest thing. Like my wife put me on. We went up there in, I want to say January.
I love how a hot dog is the greatest thing.
Yeah, because it is. Yo, you buy a drink, they give you a hot dog. You get a hot dog per drink. So I was like, I'm in. Like, you ever seen that meme? Like, when it's like, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Oh God!
If you get a drink, you get a hot dog. You in? Of course I am.
Like, yeah, ain't no convincing. I was actually mad, and this is gonna sound like some fat boy shit. That we went there after. Yeah, hey, but it's gonna sound even more fat boy shit. It was after we ate dinner. So like I was like, man, like I had one hot dog, but I was like, we should have just came here. Like had like 6 drinks and been like, yo, free dinner, baby. And like
I think if we all went out, Marcos would be the one to go to regular or basic food spots like McDonald's or the hot dog stand.
No. I don't in New York, I don't go to McDonald's, but in New York, I know all the actual dope food spots because I was a local. I lived there for most of my life. And
I'm turning my chin up. I don't know.
This guy,
I don't know.
well, I'm talking about local, so I'm not talking about stuff with million Yelps. And this is before Yelp. Like when you were broke New Yorker, you used to know where the food was good. I know every single Latin spot. I know all the good pizzeria spots. If you stop at one of those $2, $1 pizza places, you're bugging.
Okay, so
Slap yourself.
I will say, the best lo mein I've ever had, like it's ingrained in my memory, was on Flatbush Ave, and it was a little push cart, and they used to sell a little carton of lo mein with some chili sambal on it for $1.25. And to this day, every time I have lo mein at a Chinese spot, I put it up against that one, and it's nothing's ever come close.
But Sarat, are you familiar with the Asian Hispanic fusion? Like I feel like New York started that. That there's like these restaurants where there's Chinese people and they talk more fluent Spanish than half of my cousins. But the food is like a mix of like the rice is Spanish made, but it's fried. They make it fried and it's amazing. Yeah. But typically those spots are after hour spots where they serve like the court soup things, just be mixed drinks. So
yeah.
It's
what about you,
but
Chris?
anyway,
you have
the
any
soft porn.
Oh God.
No, before we get Chris, you got any like down and out, like hidden food gems, but besides the gas station barbecue?
The gas station barbecue, I mean, you get a whole meal at the gas station. Collard greens, neck bone, black eyed peas, all that good shit. But
do you have a low down like food memory from a little spot?
Low down. See, I wouldn't even say it's low down. It's just not recognized as much in Chicago. Italian Fiesta Pizza, because they want the deep dish. They want the Giordano's or the Illuminatis and everything. Which, don't get you wrong, I think is good. But Italian Fiesta in the hood, they cover it with foil. You know what I'm saying? But that pizza, in my opinion, that's my favorite one. I haven't had a pizza that matches it yet.
So out here, there is a place called Hip Hop Chicken, and it's supposed to be Chicago. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's called Hip Hop Chicken. It's Chicago style fried chicken, and they use salt, pepper, seasonal, sugar, and like literally, it's like crack. Like literally, like you eat it. These wings, bro. Like everybody that I've put onto it, I don't really eat it, but like I know a lot of the a lot of the people. All jokes aside, I'm not. Again, we already discussed this. I'm a nugget guy. I eat their nuggets, their wings occasionally, because I'm a true fat guy. I don't like having to pick stuff off of bones. I like to just pause, throw it in, and chew it.
You're a fat guy like Chris is an alcoholic because Chris don't think anything getting in the way of his butts.
No, so straight alcohol to lips.
But it's amazing. Like this food, it's like people eat it and they'll talk about it, and it's like this way better food. But like people that are not from Baltimore, some Baltimore people swear by it, but people that are not from Baltimore are like, "Yo, bro, I keep thinking about that chicken dog." Like hip hop chicken.
Is it y'all that got is it Mondo sauce something like that, or is it DC?
DC's Mambo sauce.
Oh, okay.
And Mambo sauce is basically just like hot sauce and ketchup.
Yeah, well, that's like
because they try to say the same thing about Chicago mild sauce. It's not hot sauce and ketchup. There's something different to it.
Well, that's like the secret sauce on the Big Mac. That's just 1,000-ounce dressing. I mean, I'm saying the only secret sauce that I contend is a secret sauce is Kel's secret sauce from Good Burger. Like, we don't know what the hell went into that, but that should look good.
Oh gosh.
Well, you know what sauce went in there. They just because it was Nickelodeon, they didn't tell you. No, especially with the dude that was
that actually
touching
them
kids.
Oh gosh.
Oh, speaking of touching, man, Chris,
Yo.
What the hell were you doing? Because listen, I know for a fact that when Marcos turned on this movie, as soon as it came on, he had the same thought as I did. So, Marcos, why don't you tell people what you thought about this movie when it first came on? Matter of fact,
so it literally.
Chris, tell people what movie you picked because it's
movie I picked was Dark Crimes on Freevee with Jim Carrey, and that's literally why I picked it because it looked like a serious movie, and I never see Jim Carrey act in a serious role.
Really, you never seen Number 23?
Yeah, and you never seen Spotless of the Eternal Mind or whatever.
Right. No, we talked.
I messed up the title.
Yoda. Okay.
We talked about this before,
spotless mind.
but I've never I've always known him as a comedian. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen him play a serious role.
Yeah.
So when I saw this, I was just like, this is interesting. And then when I saw, I was like, "Oh, it's just kind of brutal to watch."
Yeah. Maybe 2 seconds in, you said.
Yeah.
I immediately I was sitting there with my wife, and immediately I was like, "God damn it, Chris!"
No, same thing. I turned it on 2 seconds in. I was like, man, I knew Chris was gonna fucking pick this. He literally probably saw it. Was like, oh, this is my kind of shit.
Sex addicts. You know what I'm saying?
This is like, bro, this is like fucking. This is like Saltburn, but just didn't get the critics.
No, Saltburn was way worse.
So
this actually wasn't a bad movie. Saltburn, what the fuck was I watching?
No, this movie. So I watched it on one of the apps. I didn't use Freevee because I was afraid the Freevee was gonna have commercials. It was gonna be edited, and I was like as soon as the movie started and we started seeing nudity, I was like, man, I hope Chris ain't watching this censored because he'll be so mad. God damn.
Well, on Freevee, it had the commercials at the beginning of the movie.
Okay,
but nothing during it. Which I don't mind. I don't mind. You know,
was it uncensored?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The shit wasn't
okay.
I don't think even had a rating. This is it was like we European. We gonna do this right.
Okay. Before we jump into the plot, this entire movie felt like Jim Carrey owed people money.
And so?
Really?
You think so?
The entire movie, he said 3 words for the first 20 minutes. He was putting in a performance that the script was not there for. The eggs.
All right, Chris. So do you think why do you think Jim Carrey was in this movie?
Like I said, because I've never seen him in a serious movie. I think he just wanted to try something different. He's older now. That you can tell he's older.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he just you know what? Let me add something different to my resume.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if a movie like that can be filmed in the United States.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
First of all, it took me 25 minutes to realize that he was playing a character that was, what is it, Polish or what was it?
Polish or German or something like that.
I think it was Polish because they were in Poland.
Because he had no accent.
No, he did, but he was like speaking English with a light Polish accent. So I was listening. I'm like, because he would say certain things. I'm like, oh, he's got a slight accent to it.
Mm-hmm. Right? It wasn't a lot, but it wasn't. You could tell something was there a little bit.
I'm not gonna say he, owed Jim Carrey owed anyone money for this. Again, I agree with Chris. I think he just, took this as something that he could use to just stretch his creativity, just do something different that he hasn't done before, and also, I also think, looking at the story, if I was looking at the script, it probably seemed interesting on paper. Right?
Execution.
Yeah, execution might be, but it looking at the story once it's done, you're like, it might have read differently on paper.
So this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that he read the script and he bought in what he thought he was in, and he put in a good performance.
Yeah,
it was good. They had some good actors, like the guy that he was obsessed with, that he wanted to pin the Sandusky murder to.
Sandusky's the dude that was touching people in fucking Penn State.
No, that's what he said. He called him.
I don't think it was Sandusky. I think it was a different name. I don't think it was Sandusky. Hold on.
It was something dusky.
I'm gonna look this up. You keep talking.
So was it Sardisky? I don't know.
Y'all keep talking. I'll find the name.
So basically, I think that he read it and was like, "All right, I'm locked in." But let's be real. This was the last movie he did before he retired. He did Sonic 1, and then he did this movie and then said, "Yo, I'm retired from Hollywood." And then he came back, and the only scripts that he's accepted have been Sonic. And it's not because Sonic is paying him a shit ton of money. He's getting regular salary. He's not getting Jim Carrey, When Nature Calls money.
He's Ventura money, no.
Yeah, but he really likes those scripts. But this movie, I feel like it turned him off to acting, bro, because this came out in 2016. So think about it.
First of all, the dude's name is Sadowski.
Well, excuse me.
No, yeah, not
It
send
was
up.
a ski in
Hey
it.
man, tomato, but one of those tomatoes touched the kids. So
Oh gosh.
Touch the kids and still had a statue.
yeah,
Oh man.
yeah. Okay. So Chris, So you're saying you picked this movie simply because you just wanted to see Jim Carrey try
In a
something
serious
new.
role. Yeah.
So in that vein, did this movie like live up to your expectation?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, it was like I said, it was brutal. There was some scenes in like the opening scene, like shit, okay. But like listening to the story and then like his backstory and him trying to really go after the police chief,
Yeah,
um, and then being obsessed with I guess the writer,
yeah.
but then how it all unfolds and even ladies and gentlemen, we jump around, so you know what we do. Even at the end, I didn't see that coming.
Oh, I didn't either.
You know what I'm saying?
I realized that the chick was the one that did it, but yeah, the whole ending. I don't know if I'm gonna let one of you guys spoil it. Like I didn't see
We
that.
spoil it all the time. I didn't see that coming, and
I
I
didn't
actually
see
think
that his particular part coming because like to me it was like, did they just add that in for effect? Like
I don't know, but to me, I feel like that ending redeemed the movie.
Yeah, because I feel like Jim Carrey
Now,
realized that he fucked up. He got the wrong person and everything else, but he got played like
yeah,
basically by everybody. But the person doing the most playing was the girl. You know what
hmm
I'm saying? And
yeah.
like for her to even say, "Homeboy didn't know you was in the room the other night." I was like, "Holy shit!" You know what I'm saying?
So
So she
okay,
knew.
so one of the big themes of this movie, and I'm sorry to say for those listening, one of the big themes of this movie is kind of sadistic sexual acts and like sexual kinks and stuff like that. Like,
yep.
you think there was a level of it here that was kind of crazy. Like, do you guys think that's based on fact? Do you think there's people that actually go that nuts with it?
I do.
Why? Just out of curiosity.
I feel like people with okay, out of curiosity, did he?
Okay, yeah, okay.
If
Okay.
I was say people with money,
It took me a second because I thought you said, did he? And I was like, oh, no,
yeah.
he said that. Okay.
I'm saying, I'm not trying to pseudo here for nothing.
Yeah.
Did he? You know what I'm saying? Just put
Yeah.
together. But nah, I feel like people with money that got the type of power and everything
hmm
can do crazy shit like that because who's gonna tell them? You know what I'm
I,
saying?
I think this entire movie was not about like okay, the world that he was in. It was sexual based in nature,
Yep.
but I think it was more about power and people
Yep.
that have power always like to abuse their power because well at that time in 2016, I don't know about 2025,
I
people
feel like
can't
2025 is, I feel like it's not out of the realm possibility. You know?
no, but I'm saying that like in 2016 it was still taboo for you to like demonstrate your power like just you know, like all willy nilly. It's like, like back then, like, okay, I watched this movie called Saturday Night, right? Recently, and
Yeah.
there was Milton Berle in it. Like they depicted a guy that played Milton Berle. He was played by the dude that plays Jonah Jameson.
Yep.
Um,
J.K. Simmons.
so yeah, so J.K. Simmons, and apparently there was this whole thing about Milton Berle. He was a dick back in the 70s, and like in the 70s, it was like running rampant. Like guys were doing whatever the fuck they want. So apparently Chevy Chase's character was a dick to him. And then Milton Berle, who was played by J.K. Simmons, turned around and was like, bro, who the fuck are you? Like you've been here for 5 minutes. And then he tried to call him over. Was like, yeah. He's like, you know what? Let me know when you get to this level. And Milton Berle's character just literally unzips his pants, pulls out his dick. And apparently, according to legend, Milton Berle has like a 12-inch dick. And then it's like he couldn't do that like, nowadays, but it's like back then it's like, yo, this is how untouchable I am. That in front of mad people, I'm just gonna pull out my dick and be like, what you gonna do? Like, and like this
Okay.
movie
Okay.
embodies shit like that. Like there's no consequence for the powerful.
Okay. But I feel like it's less about no consequence for the powerful. And I feel like it's more about like some people just kind of get off on sadistic, just exerting power over somebody. Not necessarily doing it as a power play, but just they, have this sexual kink where like it's it turns them on to have control over somebody. Because like they said in this movie, like, some days, the guy would be like very violent towards the woman. Some days he would have her choke him, things like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder.
Was she a prostitute, or was this consent? Because she kept saying that he kept raping her, but then it was like I felt like she wasn't forced because she was in a relationship with the dude.
This is what I thought I heard, or I can remember, that I think she was a prostitute, but she was like a regular for that one guy.
Yeah.
And when all that went down, she was dating the dude as a writer, but he was writing her stories.
Yeah.
Because when he walks in her apartment, she says, "What, you want more stories?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that, I really think, like I said, it was all her.
Yeah.
But she had no voice. She's a woman overseas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I guess the lesser rights that women have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
but I mean, again, what is it that takes people to that point where that's what gets them off? Is there a screw loose? Did something happen to them as a child that all of a sudden makes them like that's the only thing that kind of
I wish I had a better answer for you, and other than there's a strong need like mentally or something that there is there. I don't know, because okay, like I'm pretty vanilla when it comes to the bedroom or whatever. Like
everything but ice cream. Ice cream is.
But you know what I mean? Like compared to like what's out there, like you know what I mean? Like I'm not out here doing some Brazzers stuff, like you know what I mean? But then there's the other spectrum. There's
everything but the ass.
Anyway, but there's like other spectrums where they're like people that are into what is it, auto asphyxiation, like. That'll be crazy to me that I need that, like to me as an individual, that I need that much to do something that other people walk around and like could do it on a drop of a dime to climax or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's like you said, is a kink. Some people enjoy it. It's like I think everything in the world.
I get it. I get some people enjoy it. But Chris, let me ask you, like, what do you think takes a person to that point where that's what turns them on?
I think it has nothing to do with abuse. Whether as a child, a woman abusing the man or a young boy, whatever, and then them getting that power. I think on one side it's a form of abuse that they went through mentally. Then another form, I think there's probably like an ugly ass person in school growing up. They get the girls, in case they beat, so they made a bunch of money. And they're all you bitches that didn't want to talk to me. Now I can do what I want with you because you want my money. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. But I feel like someone like that, I feel like it's less of a. It is a turn on, but it's like okay now. But then the thing is, you have something that they want. But there's people who don't have anything that the woman wants, but that's what turned them on. Like again, like you said, it could be a scenario where they just have traumatic experiences with women when they're younger. Whether it's a mother figure, whether it's a sibling, whatever, and so they grow up with this pent up aggression or whatever towards this person, and like it's not the fact that they want to get sexual with them, it's the fact that like almost their
they want
back,
control.
yeah, they're able the point that they're able to have that get back is what they're finally like, yes, like this is what I wanted my whole life. That's what turns them on. I don't know.
So I think in the scenario, in the context of dark crimes, I think we could all agree that all that was illegal. So it wasn't like it wasn't more of a kink. It was like a desire that was perverted, kind of like what was that movie? Do you guys remember that movie where the rich people got those Hostel, where the kids that would go to Europe that were like backpacking would get kidnapped and like be placed in these torture?
I never saw
it. It's I think it's along those levels that people like want to do stuff that's like that in the norm of like society is considered deprived, because like even like yo, you could be in like hey, whatever floats your boat, but it's like some of the stuff that they depict in the movie, and then the movie could have gone deeper, like the emasculating the dehumanization of the women, walking them with leashes, beating them, and it it was kind of confusing as a viewer, that it's like the character, she kept saying she was raped, but then it's like she was an employee. she never said that she was like a sexual slave, and she lived alone and kind of was able to see the author like in a relationship. So it was kind of like this is where I think the script failed a little bit in that respect. Like I understand if she was like he was always violent and he treated me like shit, but because this was the brothel was something that I needed to do, but it's like man, it was like some real shitty shit happening there. First of all, a lot of nudity. That's why Chris got.
Yeah. Well, there was that one scene. Chris about to say something.
I said never ass titties. I'm just saying they never wrote it.
There's this one scene where the police chief, or who was the current police chief, was the girl went to his house, and then it cut to a scene where it looked like he was raping her, and then she left like it was normal. So in my head, I was wondering, like, because she kept saying, he raped me or whatever, but like, is it that he's actually doing that, or is it role play? Is it?
Yeah, I was about to say like,
no, because she said he would always tell her to say hurt me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I think that he actually did abuse her. Like you talking about when they do the flashback or whatever, and basically spit over the table.
No, that wasn't a flashback though. She went to his house, remember? And remember Jim Carrey followed her.
Okay.
But like she went there, had that interaction with him, and then left like it was almost like it was an appointment. So I was wondering, like, are they like, because at one point she says, the rapes all happened in her mind. So was it just her role playing, like, hey, I need you to role play this scenario where like I'm taking advantage? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know, because this is what I feel like. I don't know if the movie tried to portray this or not. I feel like she was so deep into that game, she made it a part of her life. Because even when her and Jim Carrey have their scene together, she tells him the same thing: "Hurt me."
Yeah.
Did Jim Carrey rape her?
I don't think so.
Because I didn't the author implied it later on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He did tell her. He did say that. He said you raped her and something like that. And then because that's when he knew, like, hey, like how do you know I even met up with her? That was the kind of thing. So, but I think, the author, the dude that played the author, right? It clearly felt like he was fucking with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, the entire movie, the smiles and everything, and like,
but like, was there a reason for that? Was there a reason for him to be fucking with Jim Carrey like that? And before we get into that, I haven't had a drink ever since Dry January. I haven't had a drink at all on the podcast. I'm just kicking it off today with one.
I ain't got that.
Why are you making that face? Just because it ain't cheap juice?
Marcos? You talking to me?
I saw you make that face.
No, I didn't make a face.
Yes, you did, bro. Come on, I'm gonna play this back.
Is this what you finally got a label on it now? Does it say cheek juice?
Yeah, he made his own. He's looking towards it.
Yep. I partnered with 7-Eleven. It's called Replenish Cheek Juice.
Oh shit!
Well, go ahead. Toast to you, Makazi.
My mineral
killing
water.
it.
That's gonna be Marcos' slogan: all cheeks, no ass. You don't need that.
Excuse me.
What? All cheeks.
Okay, so
Christ.
All right, so I mean, this movie was definitely like a psychological thriller. Like, and one of the aspects of it was Jim Carrey's state of mind to it. Like his relationship with his wife. That shit was.
Why was he married?
What's up?
Why was he married? He never got annoyed. I mean, sorry, he was never happy. He got annoyed around them, and then I felt bad in the first scene, the kid that disappeared that never really got shown again. And then, like, when he's sitting at breakfast listening to like the thing, and she's like, "What the fuck are we gotta listen to this?" And he's like, he don't even say I'm sorry. He just grabs the tape and leaves. I'm like,
I think they were trying to show that he was so far distant from his family, even from his previous job or title, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I guess he never recouped from whatever experience that was. Yeah. And then knowing that he actually has some type of evidence that could kind of get him back into position.
Yeah.
I think they just showed how obsessed he was with that, and how everything in his life just didn't matter anymore.
Yeah. So I feel like I feel like they were trying to show that like his obsession with the case and solving this case was what was like ruining his life. But do you think they got that across right? Because it just looked like
No, it just felt
their
like a
relationship
European marriage.
their relationship just it didn't even come across like they even have any kind of like relationship together. Like, yeah, come on, when he walks by and she's taking her shirt off and then she closed the door on him. Like, to me, that doesn't look like someone who's so obsessed with their job that their wife, him and his wife.
A hot take. Maybe the entire movie's in his mind, and he's just insane. He going around raping people like he don't even live there. He's just in these people's houses, like because he came off Psycho. When I saw him turn the plate around and when cutting the eggs, I was like, oh man, he a sociopath. Ain't nobody eat their breakfast
you eat
like
eggs
that
with your hands, bro. Come on.
Unless you don't never turn your plate.
No, for what? That's why you got like you make your own plate.
So you have a less distance from the plate to your mouth.
That's why we got these guys. It's like I don't know. I don't eat in places where I gotta go. Like, hold on. It's
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
Right
you turn your plate to that part of the food that's closer to you.
I felt like it was him trying to add idiosyncrasies to his character, and like the entire character, and then the cinematography blew me. Because I thought like they kept filming this like it was a fucking car commercial. I kept thinking of when Jim Carrey made fun of what's it called, the guy that goes all right, all right, all right, when the Buick commercial. You guys remember that?
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, when he kept going in the tunnel and like it was like no light, and then they just show him, and I was like, man, like this movie left me with more questions than I had about like. I want to see the documentary about this entire process of this movie. Like,
what do you think about the cinematography in this movie?
Well, considering it was filmed overseas, you
think it's just a European style?
I think, yeah.
I felt like there was a lot of filler scenes in there. Guys entering in a car just to get out the car and walk out of the scene, and then it turned to the next scene. Him pulling out the garage every 2 seconds. Mind you, there's one part in this movie that made me really laugh, and I don't know why. But when he pulled up to the apartment and he saw the fucking author, meeting up with the girl and the daughter, and then she walks over to grass and just look, and this motherfucker just parked in the parking lot, just looking at them,
just there.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, you're not even subtle. What kind of cop are you?
But that's what I said. I think they was trying to show how obsessed he was. Like, even when his wife was like, if you leave, don't come back, he just didn't even say shit. He just started to walk away.
Yo, he didn't speak to his wife at all this entire movie, dog. Like, I'm telling you, like, if they would have revealed at the end that he was insane, that these people never existed, that he, like, lived in an abandoned apartment somewhere, like,
I mean,
it would have made the movie better.
Well, you might be onto something, because let's just say there is a twist in this movie that we missed. Yeah. And he was the actual rapist and doing everything else. Is that why she killed him at the end?
Maybe. There's so many different twists in terms that you could actually take this movie. It's just it's again, it's an hour and a half long movie. If you could take it to an hour and 50 minutes and add a couple of little things that make you really look at it and go, oh, they really put a lot of psychological thought into this.
I also feel like this is the movie that made him retire. I don't know why, dog. I don't know.
I feel like he's
that
just,
way.
No, I feel like Jim Carrey was at a point where he's like, he's trying movies like this because like every time you see him on a movie, everybody expects him to be,
the funny guy.
So do you think it's a metaphor for his life? He's desensitized, so he has to go to this length of making movies like this that he normally doesn't pick to just feel something as an actor.
I think he's just tired of playing. I think he's tired of the assumption that when he shows up, he's the happy-go-lucky fun guy. Like for instance, Kick-Ass 2 when he plays the colonel.
Yeah,
that was a serious role. I was about to mention that earlier.
No, it was, but the thing is, like, when he stood up for it and said, hey, like, I don't like the level of violence that was in this movie and stuff like that, so he didn't want to promote the movie. Like, and people looked at him weird for it. It's like, I feel like he's just at a point in his life where he's like, I'm more than just the funny guy, but like people expect me to be the funny guy, so I can't just go be me. So that's why
my thing is that whole thing about him not wanting to be promote that is like, dog, look at the name of the movie. The movie is it's an adaptation of one of the most brutal comics out there. that's not invincible. So it's like, dog, like this ain't nobody pulled the fur over your eyes. That's just like back when Diddy said that he want to appear in the Nas video because he realized that it was anti-religion. And I was like, dog, like you were there when they were recording this video. Why are you all of a sudden after it's finished that you're like, I don't know about this? You in the background when they quote unquote crucified Nas. Like I feel like so I'm going off on a tangent, but I feel like when an artist says that, I think it's a freaking cop out. It's like you know what you signed up for. Nobody pulled punches. You know, for Kick Ass, he was on set for most of the movie. It wasn't like he did his scenes and then it was like, it's a wrap on Jim Carrey, guys, and then they created a completely different movie. It's like,
Yeah.
no, dog, like you knew about this. Like you seen the first one.
Chris, what do you think? Where do you think Jim Carrey's state of mind is right now as a person?
Well, I'm actually thinking back for a minute because I don't know how long ago this was, but wasn't there a time when he was in the news because everybody would say that he like kind of lost his mind a little bit. He was painting pictures and like kind of isolated. And
This was around this time. This is when he retired. He did a legitimate retire, and then he dropped that documentary. Like there wasn't even like a movie. It was like I think one of the news cameras where he talked about like yo, this is what I do. I paint. Like he was really removed. And then like, you know, just like people like an athlete that retires, he was calling back in because it's not money. He doesn't need money. Like, you know what I mean? It's like he's just doing it for the love at this point, and he really likes like Dr. Robotnik. You can tell he's having fun making those Sonic movies.
yeah, no, so I'm saying that this was around that same time this movie came out. Did he just like get divorced or something like that,
I
or
thought his wife died.
yeah, okay, so either she died, he got divorced. So he was telling where he was mentally, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maybe he just needed a movie that was as dark as the way he felt.
I can see that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel like sometimes, you know, your form of expression is just an outlet for just how you're feeling inside. Like, you know, you pick this movie not because you know this is a reflection of you, but like at the same time, it's like you know this is just how I feel right now, and I feel like I can convey however this dude is feeling in that moment.
Now, let me ask you this: do you think he would redo a movie like this now, like today?
Chris, you answer that.
I don't think so.
Why?
I think because he already did it. He's like, I did it.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like he's like, I did it. It was cool at the time, but you know, let's take a look at the Sonic movies. I think he's just in a fun place now, and he wants to stay there.
Now, let me ask you this.
I think, again, judging by the ending of this movie, I actually think he read the script and was like, you know, this is actually a cool twist. It's a cool story. I actually think he would redo this movie, but maybe with a better director and a bigger budget. Because if you take this movie and you put, you know, fucking what is it, David Fincher behind it, dude that did Seven and all that, like I can see a really good movie within the realm of this. It's just it felt like the person that made this movie was, you know, maybe just out of film school. Because listen, a lot of the shots in this movie was just, hey, put a camera down and then somebody run across a car. Like it felt very amateur in the way it was shot. But you take a seasoned director that really knows how to like get emotion out of scenes and stuff like that. I actually think I could see him redoing a movie like this.
Okay, I get that. I don't know, man. Like this movie, it like the subject matter. I thought it was gonna get more into the nitty gritty, and it was more of a character story. That kind of like the moral behind it was like you can't let your obsession blind you from things that you might miss. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, so, okay. Speaking of, I was gonna actually bring that up because the central theme of this movie is obsession, right?
Yep.
So, have you guys ever in your lives felt like you were obsessed with something to the point where it became unhealthy?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, Chris. I mean, Marco's got it on his hat, so he is just fine.
No. I've talked about it before in 2020 when my dad passed. I got obsessed with like collecting action figures, particularly wrestling ones and like Transformers and Thundercat action figures, particularly from a period that my dad encouraged this. And would come home like weekly with a new toy for me when he come home from work on Fridays or whatever. And it's like I think people, we naturally obsess with stuff that brings us to a happier place.
Yeah.
And I know for myself, that's where I was at, to the point that once I was able to properly heal from that loss, I was like, oh man, like I still kept a lot of it, but a lot of the stuff I had to purge because I'm like, what did I do here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, God bless my wife now for putting up with this, because it's like, bro, like where I'm sitting now, like before I even had the podcast, dude, it was just boxes of just random shit. I looked like a couponer, except I wasn't saving money. I was just
All
spending
your
it.
coupons were 2 for 1 at hot dog heaven.
But
Yep.
What about you, Chris? You ever gotten to a point in your life where you felt like you were unnaturally, or like like obsessed with something that was just bad for you?
I want to say yes, but I don't feel like I was obsessed.
Okay.
Go.
Because I've never considered something to have power over me, except for alcohol. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
but I wasn't obsessed with it. It was a part of my every
fucking liar.
I don't
You
feel
got
like
a fucking Jack Daniels jacket.
Well, I don't feel like I was obsessed though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you call it you call that your best friend, your best friend to the end.
Well, it might have been more so addiction, right? And you can tell me if I'm wrong, because addiction and obsession can look the same.
They're hand in hand, bro.
They're hand in hand, but they're not the same.
Yeah.
Addiction is something that like let's say, like you into Pokemon cards, and then like you like, hey man, everywhere I go, I gotta pick up a Pokemon. Like, you know what I mean? Like you, Mikazi, if you like, and your job takes you everywhere, but then the first thing you do is everywhere you go, like if you're like a sneakerhead, you'll be like, oh, I gotta go to this local sneaker thing to see if I can find this one grail that I know I can't find because I'm in another country. Like, yeah, you go out and visit and check out malls, but you don't go specifically like, oh, I got off the plane, I gotta go check out the sneaker heaven or this place or this collectible to look for the one thing that you're obsessed for. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that to me is more of an obsession.
See, and that's why I don't feel like I was obsessed, because even though I love to drink, like I didn't buy a bunch of Jack Daniels paraphernalia. You know what I'm saying? Or merchandise, whatever. Yeah. Like I got a jacket, yeah. I mean, I went to the distillery and everything, but like, yeah, I don't collect it. I just like to drink it. You know what I'm saying? So addicted, yes, I will say that. Obsessed, I don't know if I can agree with that. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever had a mild obsession? Like
mild obsession?
Whether it's like, oh, I gotta get a haircut every week. I had a homeboy that had to get a shape up every like 5-6 days.
You gotta get cheeks every other day.
Well, that's another addiction. It could be sexual addiction. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you ever had a moment where you felt like there was a unhealthy obsession?
Have you? You're sitting right behind you. Shit.
No. This is just weird shit. I think my unhealthy obsession.
Yeah, you're obsessed with weird shit.
No, that's just him being a guy. Like guys, like my fucking everywhere that I around this house is like a weird like figure or something that it's like, oh, but it's not like he had. Now if he had 10 cases of like Naruto pops behind him, all the same.
I think I have an unhealthy obsession with sneakers, to the point where like I just bought 2 pairs of sneakers this weekend, which is fine, except I have about maybe 8 or 9 pairs that haven't been worn yet that is in the box in my closet.
You got shirts like that too?
No, I still wear all my shirts. But I don't really buy them and put them up, but I do have like sneakers and stuff like that. But I think
that's cute. That's cute. I counted 32 pairs of shoes that are currently where I keep my shoes in my unfinished porch in the basement that I'm still trying to get into rotation.
No, I've seen your shoes. Damn. I wouldn't consider you a sneakerhead yet.
Wow, this guy. I've been collecting sneakers since before you were born, son.
Please get out of here. So the central theme in this movie is obsession. And again, we saw, Jim Carrey get to the point, his character get to the point where like his whole life kind of fell apart because he was obsessed with this one case, right? Mm. And like, what does that do? What do you think that does to a person? Like, how do you get out of that? How do you get to a point where you can just let go of something that has that kind of control over you? I think I might be thinking a little too psychological now, but like, I feel like, that's one of the lessons in this movie is like, how do you let go of something before it takes over your whole life?
You don't. something changes drastically in your life, whether it's tragedy or something, or the loss of a relationship or something, like that's when an obsession breaks. Like if let's take it simple. Like a person that's obsessed with a celebrity
Mm.
or is like stalking them, that doesn't end until that person is either in jail and they're in a lot of trouble. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or like somebody that's obsessed with collecting a certain item. That a lot of times, if it goes unchecked, it probably doesn't end until they lose something else in their life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's say, imagine if I'm like calling out like from work to go like camp out for a pair of sneakers like weekly because I'm like, oh, I gotta get them. Like, this is like, I can't live without them. And then, you know, I put them in my closet and do nothing with them. And then it's like to the point that I'm like, the rest of my job, I'm sorry, the rest of my life things starts falling apart because I'm not paying attention to that.
Hmm.
Like, you know, I know people that are like that. I know people that are like obsessed with wrestling, or people that are obsessed with working. Like, you know, I know you're a truck driver. People that like literally come off runs, go on runs again, and then it's like, bro, you have an entire family at home, but you're like, nah, bro, I gotta make this money, and then you come home and your wife has a whole nother dude or something like that, or like your kids don't, and then you're like, but I was making a living. Like, nah, bro, you were chasing money for your own selfish reasons. Like, you could have done regular runs and be home. Like, nah, you wanted to be out of the house for like what is it, 25 days out of a 30-day month. Like, you know what I mean? Something crazy like that.
What do you think about that, Chris?
About his analogy,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious.
I put it to you like this: I don't agree with it, but I also know people that are like that. Some
Yeah.
people hate going home. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
want to be out there on the road.
Yeah.
You know, that just is what it is.
But you realize you made that home. It wasn't
Yeah,
like somebody like, this is your home, dog. Like, it wasn't assigned to you. It's like you made choices that led you there. Like, you know, I am very
Goddamn. Yeah, I know you already look like Buddha, but now you're dropping lines like Buddha. Holy shit. You shit
like
smart
I'm a
over here.
person, like I am always, it's crazy that I work from home. I'm the most comfortable in my home. Like, literally, I have all the creature comforts, and my favorite person in the world, I see her every day. I wake up next to her. I see her, like, she comes home like to highlight my thing. Like, I would hate to be on the road a lot. Like, even it like I remember we were talking hypothetically recently. She was like, if you hit Mega Millions, like, would you pursue like wrestling or podcasting all the time? And I was like, would I still be just doing it from home? She's like, no, you go on the road, you catch on with a company that you want. And I was like, no. I was like, then it wouldn't be fun. It would be
Yeah.
a job. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
What do you think,
and then
Chris?
they'll take me away. Like,
like I said, I don't know. I mean, to go back to what he said, like, yeah, you created this home, but how many people have created a home that ends up going left? And you're like, I'm so locked into this. Like, how do you even change it or make it better what it is? Like me personally, I need my own personal space sometimes. That's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I love a family environment. I love to party. I love everything else. But I'm not a person where I got to go recharge by myself.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
If that
Yeah.
and being on the road. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it is like I got to go make this money and do whatever I got to do, but it's like just me, the
Yeah.
road, the air, and I'm driving in silence, just chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think it all just depends.
No,
I get that, but
well, I get that because I'm kind of this, I'm kind of in between both. Like, I'm the kind of guy, like, I love having my time to myself, but I also love just being home with the family. And
Mm,
like, you know, you tend to get to a point in your life where you're like, you have these moments where, okay, if I can get this, 1 or 2 days that I can just get in my own head and get all that out, then the rest of the time I can be over here with the family and like doing that thing. And you have an appreciation for both. I think some people, I think some people let one to overtake the other, and they don't realize that they need both in their life.
mm,
Like, it's either taking care, it's either the family aspect and the people around you that you cherish and love, or your own mental. And for some people, they prioritize one over the other, and they expect the other people in their life or whatever situations in their life to kind of just go along with that, instead of being like, well, those people also have priorities too. Like, sometimes that shit don't fucking match.
yeah,
yeah, and I'm a perfect example. My previous marriage, man, like it was like, yeah, it was cool when we were together, but it was just
She got tired of
like
you
we
getting
were
cheeks.
we were two different people. Like, you know, I'm blessed and happy that I'm with a partner now that like I could literally be like, yo, at the end of the month, I'm going to some random convention, or I'm going to a wrestling thing, and she'll be like, cool, have fun. Or like she'll be like, hey, I'm gonna go on a work trip, or like I'm gonna go out to dinner with my friends tonight, and I'll be like, all right, like, you know what I mean, like where, but like I understand your part, Chris, but like based on what I know from you now, like I don't feel like you're like, all right, I'll see you next month, family. Like, you know what I mean? Like you come home, you work, or like when you were on the
If only
road.
you knew, Chris. If there was a pork chop at the end of the rainbow, Chris is like, sorry, family. I'll be back in 3 months. Got to climb this Mount Everest to get this,
It feels like
golden
some
pork
gold.
chop.
I was about to say shit feels worth it. You know what I'm saying? But that's on the gas station. Just drive to the road, pull over real quick, hop out, get you pork chops, some fried fish, some hot sauce, keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying?
But like you, Mikazi, like man, like I commend you all the time we talk. Like you're on the road a lot, and like
well, so I've it's taken a while, but I've gotten to a point where I'm, again, when I'm not on the road, I detach. Like, so you might not just hear from me, not because I'm trying to be an asshole or whatever, but like again, I have my priorities. When I'm working, I'm working. When I'm home, I'm home. Like, don't try to interrupt any of that, because again, and sometimes when I'm home and I gotta work, I gotta be like, hey, like, sorry, I'm locked in. Like, sorry if I feel like I'm distant, but I'm locked in. I need to be locked in because I have deadlines to hit. Once that's done, then I'm like, hey, stop bothering me about this shit. I got a family to take care of. Get away from me. Like,
see, and that's actually why I like working local. Before, like when I was over the road, I hated over the road because you're out there for 2-3 weeks at a
too
time,
many cheeks.
and a lot, a lot of cheeks out there, a whole lot of cheeks with no teeth. I'll tell you that right now.
Wait, what?
but working locally, if I'm gone for 10 hours of the day, that 10 hours, even if I'm on the phone talking, whatever case may be, I'm still by myself. So I got all the time in the world to basically rejuvenate, even though I'm working, and then get home and be on family time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have a question for both of you guys, because I've never had a job that had me traveling all the time. Do you guys ever wake up, like there's this movie with Tom Hanks where he was like a traveling salesman, he went everywhere, and like he woke up like in the middle of the movie.
Just out of curiosity.
I forgot. It was one of the recent ones that he was like trying to broker something with some king in like Saudi Arabia or something, some prince over there. And like he will wake up and it'd be like, where the hell am I? And, like, because all like they showed a montage. It'll be like, get off the plane, brush his teeth, put on a suit, eat dinner, drinks, blah blah blah. Then it would like keep showing the same thing, and then like one day he wake up, it's like, I don't know where the hell I'm at. Like he went to call down for room service, and then he realized he's in his house, and his wife is like, oh, it's like,
Chris, I'll let you answer that first.
It gets that way. I mean, like as a truck driver, I'm gonna just keep it real. I don't know how many of them are gonna agree with me. There's a lot that comes with being on the road. A lot that comes with being away. You know what I'm saying? Even if some people are trying to go out there because they're running from something, or they're trying to keep what they got. Because some people, they grow up poor, don't ever be poor again. So you start getting money, it's like you almost like you never have enough. You know what I'm saying? You always want to have that cushion. Yeah. And the people that have money was like, I got to keep this cushion. I can't never let it drop below this point. So you're constantly on the move either way. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like, is it almost like that scarcity mentality? Like, you got someone, I can't let it go. I find like I grew up with no money, so I finally got some money. I can't let it. I got to keep building it up because it might go away in 2 seconds.
Yeah, because you know it's like to not have no money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, that person knows it's like to not have no money. So, but being on the road, like I said, out there for weeks at a time, in case may be, you got to be a really, really lonely, depressed person to do that, because it comes with it. You know what I'm saying? There's some days I was out there, and I'll pull over in a casino lot, and I'm like, oh snap, I can go in here, find me a good steak, maybe play a little slots, chill out for a minute, okay, go back to school, go to sleep, and hit the road next morning. And then there's some days where it's like, fuck, I'm out here in the middle of fucking Kansas on the side of the road, and I can't drive no more, so it's just me and the road right now. And you sitting there looking at the stars, and all you see is tumbleweeds and hearing weird noises. This shit is creepy and depressing. You know what I'm saying? Like, who wants to do that on a constant fucking basis? You know what I'm saying? So
I'll use a real world example. This is actually happening like about a month and a half ago. I was at work, And me and my coworker Terry, we were arguing. We were like, "Hey, you know what's so on Saturday? But then go do this, and we got to go do this." She's like, "No. On this Saturday, you got to go do all this shit." And we're about 5 or 6 minutes. We are just going back and forth about like, what we're gonna take care of on Saturday, what needs to get done on Saturday, so we can get work done. And then as soon as we got done arguing, my other coworker Jolene was like, "Yeah, guys, that's cool, but y'all know it's Monday, right?" We was like, "Oh shit!" Like, yeah, okay, yeah. We at Raw right now. We all thought it was fucking SmackDown. We had a whole weekend to take care of all this home shit that we got to take care of. We're like, no, it's actually Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. We got a bunch of shit we got to take care of. So, but that's what happens in my life. Like, sometimes I'm on the road not so long, but like, it's such an irregular schedule that like sometimes I'm literally looking at people like, "Hey, what day is it? Like, what time is it? Like, where am I today?"
Just so I'm curious, get a do they have like the date posted in the back? Like, hey guys, today's Friday. Like, remember this Friday.
I mean, I see that SmackDown logo. I'm like, all right, we here Friday. But sometimes I'll be getting into work and I'm like, oh, I got to do this weekend. They're like, it's Raw, right? I'm like, oh shit, yeah, okay, I got that's Tuesday. I got to go take care of that. But it's just bad. Like the days blend. Now and this sounds fucked up. Maybe it's because I'm 40 or something. But like now it's more about the months and the years. I don't even give a fuck about days. It's 2025. That's all I know.
Yeah. You're on the move a whole lot.
All right. So what was you guys' biggest takeaway from this movie? Chris, you picked the movie. So I'll
go ahead, Chris.
You know me.
Cheeks.
So trust.
Biggest takeaway. Those white pasted cheeks that they kept showing.
Don't trust them. They'll kill you in the end because she killed Jim Carrey.
Valid point.
My man Carrey dirty.
Yeah, for real. He was trying to save her. She killed him.
So basically what you're saying is don't save a hoe?
No, I'm saying be careful who you're trying to save.
It's literally don't save a hoe because she was a hoe and he tried to save her.
And she was a businesswoman.
Yeah. First of all, he mouth kissed her. Warehouse. He mouth kissed her, a professional.
He smacked her after.
Dude, listen, when the sex scene where he was smacking her, I was like, I don't know, some of that shit in this movie made me uncomfortable
because it was Jim Carrey.
No, I can't picture that type of violence towards a female.
Yeah,
it just doesn't sit right with me.
Especially with them. I want to wrestle with them, but not like that. You know what I'm saying?
I know this is gonna sound wrong, and no, I don't condone violence, but there's certain actors that if he would have done it, I feel like he does this in real like he's a little bit but Jim Carrey, like I felt like if they had a cut a couple times, he was like, and she's like, no, next time just hit me harder, and he's like, really? Like he's like crying, like why do I gotta keep doing this?
You can't take him seriously. Yeah. He having sex, but all you picture is Fire Marshal Bill.
Yeah, it's like, let me tell you something.
Oh man.
Yeah. So Chris, what was your biggest takeaway?
Oh no.
Cheeks.
Yeah. You know.
I gotta plain old cheeks, baby.
I gotta find me a sex basement somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But just
that did not sound right.
I gotta find me a sex basement somewhere.
Oh man!
All of a sudden, he's not available. The next podcast. What happened? Did you hear he got kidnapped? He's been tied in a sex basement.
Oh man!
You're getting whipped. Like, wait, what?
Like, fetishes, man. But I guess on a more serious note, don't be so obsessed with something that you can't see all the damage it's doing to you or around you.
That's very true.
Yeah,
like that.
I like that. What about you, Marco? What was your biggest takeaway from this movie?
My biggest takeaway is number one, make sure you read the script over and over before you sign off. Number two, like have somebody else read it, have your friends read it, have a bigger actor read it. Like, hey, what do you think about this?
Oh gosh.
Have a director look it over, like, hey. And number two is, don't obsess over something that could overtake your entire life.
Yeah.
Because like literally, even if let's say he was right and he convicted the right guy and didn't have like the third half of the movie didn't happen, you think he was going to turn into a happy-go-lucky guy and then be like, sweetie, we did it? No, he was going to be even sadder because he probably had less to wake up to every morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's like this. I felt like this is what kept him going the entire movie. Like the entire time when he was driving, like you could almost feel like that it wasn't Jim Carrey. The character was like obsessed with this. That he's like, I get to continue. Like, you know what I mean? I get going through the tapes, but I felt like he went through those tapes all the time, which is why the wife was like, "Yo, what the hell? Why we gotta listen to this?"
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But then, but speaking of real quick, I know you got to give your piece, right? What about the dude that had the tapes? He said, "Why do you have these?" He was like, "I like to watch."
Dude,
You
when he
sick
started
sadistic
smiling,
freak.
when he was watching, he started smiling. I was like, "Come on, bro."
I was like, okay. I was like, you sick sadistic.
And Jim Carrey was cool with that. He's like, you good. Appreciate these tapes. Like, what?
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway is, again, like, don't let an obsession overtake your entire life. You know, it's one thing to want to do right. It's one thing to want to, be on the right side of justice, whatever. But at the same time, like, you know when something is overtaking your life. You know when everything else in your life is falling apart because you're only focused on this one thing. So be careful of those things, because, like, again, that thing that you're obsessed with might end up killing you. You know,
literally in this movie.
Yeah, and everything else in your life fell apart, and then now all you have left is death, because that's all you care about is this thing that for some reason is just capturing your state of mind. And I think that applies to a lot of people in life, because it's a very 2025 thing, but like I feel like nowadays it's all about like what's good for me, what's good for my life, what's my truth kind of thing. And it's like, hey man, like be careful focusing on everything that's good for you and what you want, because pretty soon you're going to turn around and everything else in your life is going to be gone, because all you're focused on is what you want in life.
And sometimes, like, even like, it's crazy because he was obsessed with his career, which led him to the obsession with his case. And like, he could have easily just, by fucking up, let's say they would have like figured out that it wasn't the author that did it. He could have, like, the author could have sued and he could have gotten fired. And then this entire obsession would have been crazy. And then he would have just been like out of job and then probably kill himself.
Well, think about it. He was so upset. He was so obsessed with the fact that he thought the author did it, that something as simple as, hey, this man was out of the country at the time.
He's like, nah.
It's like how does that skate by if you're not so focused on trying to get this one guy that you're blind to the actual facts of the story. I feel like there's a lot of people in life that will adhere to some things like that, where it's like they're so obsessed with either getting someone or this thing in front of them that they're just blind to the actual scenario or whatever is the facts that are in front of them. Like sometimes if you look at the whole picture, you realize like, hey, like this thing that I'm obsessed with is not good for me.
Yeah, like think about it. Even with one of the other movies we reviewed, Den of Thieves, Part 2 and Part 1, the whole reason the main character misses because he's so focused on the team that he's chasing, and he didn't realize that it wasn't even that wasn't the mastermind. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
yeah.
Like, don't lose focus, man. Don't.
Yeah, actually, hate I couldn't review that movie with y'all. I was going through some things. I was trapped in the sex basement.
Yeah, Chris is his.
I heard.
Chris was getting some cheeks. Or he was either getting some cheeks or he was having his cheeks getting. Either way.
He was some cheeks were getting got.
No, I was in a fucking toilet bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. So the cheeks were definitely participating.
I cleaned it first. It was my toilet. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
oh man.
All right. Well, that's the latest episode of Surratt and Chris.
Wait. We haven't even like reviewed what score are we gonna give this movie.
I don't know. Like, do we ever give a score? I don't
know. No. Well, we say if we liked it. We just talked about the moral. Did you actually like this movie, Chris?
I actually did. I did like it.
Okay.
Why
if there was no nudity.
Besides all the softcore porn and white,
oh my god,
white silky abused skin.
There's a correctness over here. You know what I'm saying?
The scene where they was pulling them on the fucking with the leashes. I thought it was fucked up because I'm like, I don't like the idea of seeing like humans like degraded to that point. Part of me was like, man, what if they look like if they had like horse helmets on or horse masks? I was like,
what?
See,
I don't know why.
Like the rubber horse thing.
Yeah, maybe it's because Chris made me watch BoJack Horseman, but I was thinking, what would they had horses?
Something's wrong with you. I feel like stuff like that though. I mean, there's a difference in role play,
yeah,
and then in control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if I walk in and my wife decides she wants to do something crazy and pull out a whip and they crawl to me, I'm like, here we go. But if I walk into a building and I see a bunch of people strapped up, like, yo, nah, like, this don't feel right. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, look,
like,
first
I got here.
First of all, if she's saying she got a whip and she just crawled to me, first of all, you live in Alabama, okay? Next thing you know, it's gonna be like, oh, Toby. Your name's Toby.
This gonna be the newer version though.
Yeah.
So now that we got that from Chris,
Marcos, why did you like?
I wish I could. I did not. I like Jim Carrey in it. I like the author. I like some parts of the script, but like when I watch this movie again.
But why did you not like it? Just give us what was it about the movie that you did not like?
I felt like the script was missing things, and like I don't like the cinematography. Like you said, it came off like film student style. It also came off like a ripoff of like a lot of European movies, like these melodramas. I don't know if you ever. I've watched like weird shows that are like the Swedish. They film a lot of their stuff like that is like very dark.
Yep.
And it's like the paneling and everything.
Equated weird with Swedish, but go ahead.
No, but like weird as in foreign to us as American television watchers. You know what I mean? I'm speaking of myself. I apologize. I do not want to call the Swedish weird. I love Legos. I love Swedish meatballs. I love IKEA. That's straight out there before.
Oh gosh.
I start getting Swedish hate out there. Like,
he said I love IKEA. That's funny. Oh shit.
But yeah, Sarat, what do you think?
I like this movie. There's a much better movie that could be made with the same structure and the same subject matter, everything. But it did feel very amateurish. So like maybe I like the potential of the movie because again that twist at the end, I actually really loved. And I'm like, man, if they had did a little bit more here, and here, that it would have made that way more potent. And that's just, I think that's more of an experience thing. But as far as like, would I watch it again? No. If it's on TV, I might not watch again because it's fucking depressing. But I'm glad I watched it. So that's why I say I like it.
Yeah, I can honestly say, like, even though y'all think I'm a sex addict or whatever,
no, we know.
The sex.
We've had enough conversations, Chris.
The sex wasn't appealing. You know what I'm saying? That was more brutal. Like, okay, this ain't really.
Yeah, that shit is.
But the story to me, I liked.
Well, Marcos, what's your take on like, sexual deviancy? Are you like you said, you vanilla?
I honestly,
when there's no chicken nuggets next to the bed.
I think McDonald's outfit and form these little dinosaurs.
Oh gosh!
First of all, I do have a McDonald's sign here that I 3D printed. Hold on, a better.
Oh God, terrible.
Oh, I feel like everything. I think fast food drives Marco's life.
No, it's just it was a stupid thing that I was like, I'm gonna 3D print this.
Where are you
now we're gonna get a copyright. We're gonna get a copyright strike on this podcast.
Oh gosh!
But no, I think as long as it's legal and it's safe, whatever floats your boat. Now, if you cross that line that you're doing something illegal and it's unsafe for one of your partners and is non-consensual, then yeah. But but if it's whatever floats your boat, different strokes for different folks.
Listen, I'm all for whatever floats your boat. But if your boat is floating with some violent, degrading shit, you might need to look at your boat and be like, hey, man. Well,
that's why I said as long as it's not illegal and it's safe.
No, but even if it's not illegal, like, it's just, you might have to just take stock. take stock of your materials. You know, is your boat made of cardboard or is it made of carbon fiber? I'm just saying, like, you know, just because you have a thing, you might know, oh, this kind of thing gets me off, kind of thing, and whatever. And your partner might be okay with it, but then really ask yourself, like, why does this thing get me off? Why am I attracted to, you know, choking a person to the inch of their life? Like, what is it about? Like, what is it about that gets you excited? And really,
I don't know, man. We could have a whole podcast about that. You know, we could talk about the fact that
first of all, your neck too thick.
No. We could talk about Chris's obsession with women thicker than cold peanut butter. So we can talk about that all the time. That it's like you're kind of seeding the.
You ever sucked on the butt cheek like that? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, and this is where the show ends, guys. This man just did a sucking noise while he's looking at me directly to the camera.
No, I was visualizing.
Chris, that shit was gross, bro.
You ain't never sucked on the butt cheek?
Chris, that shit was gross, bro.
Hey, do we have an HR department, Sarat?
I know, motherfucker. Chris looked like he was eating pickled pig feet.
Oh man!
All right. Well, that's the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast. Once again, it is your boy Sarat, aka Makazi.
How you think these teeth say so white? You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Chris Brown, aka Boy Delta.
It's your boy Marcos, aka at the most offended at the Sunset Kid 5-6 right now.
Yeah, catch us next week when we actually hit the theater because it's Marcos's choice and he has an idea for the movie theater. So we're gonna come back with that. So something, you know, y'all can go sit in the theater and not be depraved or whatever you want to do.
And whatever you do not think about Chris making those noises.
Yeah.
like you said, thick jar of peanut butter. Just stick your teeth in, you know what I'm saying?
Thinking the cold peanut butter.
Listen, you said thick, and Chris's mind just went, oh.
Yeah. He's like, man.
Look, you stick your teeth in the bite. The ex said you think of left, thinking more like what's up tonight, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
Well, with that, we out.
I'm a warrior.